Hey, this show's brought to you by Ember. We are outdoors, we are handcrafted, we are culture, we are Ember. Ember is located here in Idaho Springs, Colorado. They are a full service design agency that specializes in brands, brand strategy, positioning, and identity, with clients ranging from food sales to snowboard manufacturers. And they pride themselves in delivering an exceptional design that will help your business stand out and help you spark a brand so it can grow. So check out Ember at weareember.com. That's weareember.com. Also brought to you by Evergreen Glass. Evergreen Glass does custom glass showers, countertops, and backsplashes, and more. They also specialize in colored glass for bathrooms, kitchens, and any other residential or commercial application. Evergreen Glass is one of the very few and select companies in the entire United States to offer environmentally friendly and durable glass note products. They are the only one in Colorado that advocates the diamond fusion that guarantees non-stick and non-toxic glass surface and reduces maintenance and prevents hard water buildup. So call them today at 303-674-6116. That's 303-674-6116. So this is a show with my friend Nate Herschleb. God damn it. And he's just a friend of mine. We just had some fun pushing his graphic design company, talked about some biking and so on and so forth. So enjoy. This is Mountain Psych.
Mountain Psych.
Mountain Psych.
Mountain Psych.
Mountain Psych. Mountain Psych, man. Mountain Psych. Hey, it's Mountain Psych.
Mountain Psych.
Mountain Psych. Conversations from the mountains.
Synced.
What's going on, Nate?
We did it.
Nate, how do you say your last name?
Herschleb.
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 I've been struggling with that since I've known you. I'm just like, what is this?
Well,
How do you even say Nate Herschleb?
Herschleb. And I've always said it Herschleb, but
Herschleb. Does any of your other family says Herschleb?
you just say it fast. So Herschleb.
Herschleb.
Herschleb. But it works out.
Was that the? I had a friend growing up. His last name was Lancianus, and the teachers would always fuck up his name.
That's before modern day cell phones. That's how you knew that someone was interrupting your dinner trying to sell you something because they couldn't say your last name. Is Mr. Herschleb there? And they're like, nope, not here. Thank you.
Nate, welcome to the podcast. Nate
thank you.
Is from Ember. Is it Ember Co. or Ember Company?
Ember Collective.
Collective.
So Ember Co. That's what we call it.
Okay. So the Ember Collective, which is a graphic design company who did all the graphics for the Mountain Psych and is also doing the graphics for Smoking Yards Barbecue.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yep.
He's doing it for food.
Food.
But when you reach out to him to do your emblem, you should probably not. You should probably offer him money.
Yes, we'll work for food sometimes, but not all the time.
Cheers.
Need to pay the bills.
Right?
No, it's been going well with the whole design thing. So we're in town now. I've worked a couple agencies and decided to do our own thing. And
nice. When you guys set up in town, did you was Ember already a company, or did you move to Idaho Springs, create Ember, and then you go?
Yes to both.
Was Ember already running, and
No.
then you found an office?
Nope. I was working for an agency in Boulder, and my boss kind of came to me and said, "Hey, I'm moving to Asheville, North Carolina. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Well, I really like Colorado. I think I'm gonna stay." And so we decided to do our own thing, go out on our own, take this as a leap of faith. Jumped in, and had to do all the the research for owning a business, which I've never done. Someone else has already done that for me, usually. So getting an LLC and everything was like, what the hell am I doing now? So I'm really good at the design part, but the business admin, that's not my cup of tea.
No, the business part is always the hardest part. It's like everyone wants to. It's like, oh, if I could just do it myself and be creative. I'll be successful. It's
Yes.
like, that's not how it works. So, like, you really need someone to know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, and we've always did the freelance thing, but to like actually have a brick and mortar place to call a business, and then I guess reach out to people and say this. We're no longer freelancing. I'm not doing this as a side hustle. This is the hustle.
Right.
That's scary.
I got to do a real quick
clap test.
So, about the first minute of there, it's only going to be anybody that's watching it. I did not have the other camera rolling, so
we're synced up. We're good.
Yeah, we're good now. Now
shoot.
I have a place to check my video. Yeah,
it's a good setup. I like it.
Yeah, thanks. No, thanks for all the work you did for us.
Better.
And
I think the fridge
like
kicked off.
Trying to figure out. Yes, the noise is gone.
It's so good.
That was it. That was that little piece of ice keeping it from like fully freezing.
No,
So that's much better in here now.
It is.
We're gonna have to take care of that for the future podcasts.
Too quiet, actually. It's too quiet.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. I can really hear you now.
Good. Let me get a little bit closer.
Don't breathe so hard.
Let me get my sexy
You're
voice.
right in my ears.
You're in my ears.
Any other businesses in town that you've worked with so far?
We are in the middle of a redesign with the Argo Mill.
Okay.
So the big red building that you see off of I-70 on the right, if you're heading westbound, that is hopefully going to be a big thing, and the project has actually been a lot of fun. We started with the mill itself, and hopefully more. And
there's some big aspirations over at the Argo Mill. They are looking to do
good stuff that could happen.
Yeah, and well, God, those big projects, and like it feels like it's going to fail.
Well, I mean,
like, what is their next step? Are they going to open up the inside for a business, right? Like a distillery?
Yeah. It starts as tourism first and foremost,
right?
And then the Greenway Trail that is being put in here that will connect Golden to Loveland, I think, all the way down. That's cut front right now.
Right.
People are going to go right by it, and then so they're planning on putting like little shops and stalls right there.
Nice.
And then,
yeah, that's looking really good in town, and I've seen that emblem that you guys did. That was very clean.
Yes, we've upgraded. I guess that's what I'd say. Like we evolved what it was with the past, and now with the times, we're just evolving, and that's kind of what we always explain to people, that we never want to change them. We just want to evolve them with the times.
Yeah, and I feel that you did that with Smoking Yards emblem, and
thank you.
I really like how that turned out. And everyone except for my parents, I'm guessing, really enjoy the new logo and how it's going to evolve our company, and hopefully it will take over eventually.
Yeah, it's
I've always
just
wanted
simplifying.
Yeah, well, I've always I dabbled in graphic design when I was younger. I went to a class for like a year before I went in. Yeah. I'd learn. I self-taught a lot of it. Got first book, whatever, Photoshop, Illustrator, and then moved into multimedia.
Yep.
And then I was in film, doing film stuff and stuff like that. So basically, had my hands dipped into a little bit of everything growing up. But where was I getting at with this? Oh yeah, so I created that emblem, the original Smoking Yards emblem, 11 years ago. And I'm just like,
not gonna say it looks 11 years old, but
it looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it doesn't belong. Like it looks old.
But it's heritage though, so that's the thing. That's what we always with design in general, that you toe that line with. People have always they've created this brand, and so it's hard to talk about and be like, hey, you need to change your brand, when they're like, no, my brand is fine. I created this, and it's like, yes, but we're not looking at it anymore of just like. This is what you created. We're looking at who do we want to target now, and like the new people. Yes, you have people coming up and down I-70 stop all the time. They know the brand, but the young kids or the millennials that don't know it, we're trying to reach those people. Right. And how do we reach those people? And it's that's what we do.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know the new brand, it's just a really basic nose. It's a pig nose.
It's a pig nose.
Yeah. Super basic. Looks really cool on a decal, and looks really cool. And we're making some hats.
With
just some pig noses on them. So
yeah, I was gonna say it's interesting though what you were saying about school. So with me in design in general, that's a question that people always ask, like, where'd you go to school? I actually didn't. Like design, art is one thing. Obviously, I've learned the traits that you need for design.
Right.
But I had it.
Yeah.
I drew as a kid, and I went to art class, and I understood design, and then I moved that into a graphics world. But
so yeah, I think that really
the school
comes
thing.
down to is it's like a personal trainer or something like that. Would you trust someone that just has a certificate, or would you trust someone that has like 4 or 5 people that are like stacked? Like it's like I help my friends all get into shape. Look how well off they are. Like the certificate guy has nothing. It's like like we always did this comparison in the restaurant industry to cordon bleu kids and the bartender school kids. I'm like, just because you went to school and have all this fucking useless knowledge now, great, good for you. But you have no idea how to run a line and get your ass kicked for 6 to 9 hours.
Yeah.
And not
Wait,
come
which
out
one
of
are you talking about? The bartender or the cordon bleu?
Either of them. They're the worst.
Yeah.
I'll come in all fucking snooty and shit like, oh, I can do this, but I can make a roux. I don't fucking care.
I don't care.
Like, I don't give a shit. Do you want real experience?
Real world experience.
Or like book knowledge?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing about school, and like a lot of people don't understand, is like you can go to school all day, but for the most part, if you don't get real life experience, you're not going to change. Like I could learn about bikes on the computer forever, and then to apply it, and never been on a bike before.
You're a mechanic now until someone brings you something and says fix it, kind of thing.
Right?
Like, that's
like I'm learning so much about my bike, and like until you break it yourself, and there's someone.
But it's a catch-22
really
though. That's what we've always ran into in the design the design world is that and I started at the bottom, like absolute bottom. Just
they want that
production. It was production, and it was terrible. I was like, when do I get to be creative? And I'm like, shut up, clip this out. I'm like, oh crap. So you're going through those things, but you absolutely need that real world experience, because now I've interviewed many people for different jobs for in the design at my last agency, but it was I could look at in 2 seconds, show me your work. I don't care that you went to this school. I don't care that you spent this much money. I don't care that you're in debt.
An artist, someone that has a good eye for things, like almost immediately. How did you get that first job? Because without having that, without having any schooling, a friend just let you.
Yeah, there was an agency. So I born and raised in Lansing, Michigan. Shout out L.A. I think is that what the kids say these days? No, Lansing area. No. Super small town. It's the capital of Michigan, but it's a tiny little town. And my buddies was at I would call it an agency, and he was like, "Hey, you want to be a graphic designer? We got a spot." I was like, "Sure, sign me up." Showed up, and I did all the bitch work. I was put to it. I was like, "Oh, this sucks so bad," and wasn't getting paid very well, but it was all like just at the time I hated it.
Right.
Because I wanted to do the creative stuff.
I never did any of the bitch work, and that's probably my biggest failure.
You have to do it. You have to. It's like
still played around with stuff, and I still I got in my freelancing stuff and did a little bit of work down in Texas, but for the most part, I never did any bitch work. And
did you wash dishes though in the restaurant?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I started dishwashing at the age of 13.
Yes.
So dishwashing, started running their line in 13 because they didn't have anyone else to help them.
No, and you moved your way up, and obviously
interesting job. Yeah, if I can go back, my first job would not have been a restaurant.
Would not. Yeah, I think my first job was at a restaurant though, and I loved it. I love the restaurant business. I enjoy it, but I also don't work in it daily, so I have a soft spot for it. But if you probably put me back into it, it'd be like, I forgot why I left.
It's a grind, and it's honestly it's just how you look at it. Like a lot of people, I can just hear them bitching just right now, and just like, God damn it! Like you hate your job, but you don't have any other skills. So why complain? Yeah, why keep on burning the bridge and
just moving on?
Yeah. You're just like, we're just gonna bitch about work today. Gonna drink seven shots. Gonna bitch about it some more, and then we go back to work. And it's not going to change.
Yeah. Well, it's the lifestyle though that I
Oh, the
Didn't
drinking late at night, getting off at 10.
Hanging out with the same people. You work, you close it down, then you go to drink with them, and then you wake up at like 11, and then you're back to work with those same people. And it's like, I saw you yesterday. Like, damn.
I always thought we looked kind of snazzy, but then I realized we just looked like a bunch of fucking losers covered in cocktail sauce and shit.
Yes. Well, I did the serving part. I cooked for a little bit, but I don't know. I really enjoyed serving. Like I think that's what I miss.
I love talking to people.
Yeah, I love talking to people, and you're working for your money. Like it's
and
easy.
if you figured it out, like I figured it out late, blocking this camera with my hand. I figured it out late that I allowed my stress level to ruin my day. You just deal with it, and probably in my 4th year of waiting tables, I just came to that realization. I was like, God, I could just not care. And I made better tips.
Yep.
Every day was easier. And every time I got fucked, the expectation of getting fucked was already there. So, like, if it happened, I'm like, all right, so fuck. There was a bad tip. I was going to get one eventually.
You still made a few $100s
exactly.
doing it.
Exactly. And and
cash money when you leave. Like
it always evened itself out. Yeah. It did not matter. It always evened itself out. And I just watch people just drown themselves in like anger and like, I can't believe that fucking last table. It's like,
oh yeah,
like do that in everyday life. Tell me where it gets you, because it doesn't get you very far, and it oftentimes leads you into worse and worse places.
Yeah.
Like just be like, today's gonna suck. Well, if you're gonna think that way the start of the day, guarantee your day's gonna suck.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, I'm sure you see it. I'm sure you see it every day. I mean, maybe not as much with your with smoking yards. It's just how it, the flow of it. You don't necessarily wait tables, or the servers don't wait tables. They bring food out and check on people and pool tips. But the people where the restaurant I worked is that a table's coming in and it's like 10 minutes before we close. And everyone's like, fuck this, I don't want them. It's like, no, I'll take them. Like, that's more money. Like,
I always took that. Like, I was always the late person.
Everyone's going to be here. Why not make more money?
I was very surprised to hear that some of these restaurants don't run a late arrival or late closer option. Hey, who wants to stick around?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Out of all 10 of you, who wants to be the final 2 here? I'm going to ask you at the beginning of the night,
Yeah.
At the end of the night, we're going to cut everyone else but you. Who needs money?
But everyone else is still
they get
closing
cut,
duties.
They get cut periodically as it slows down, and the last couple tables go to those people.
Yeah.
Who wants to make fucking money? Like that's so easy. It's so dumb and easy to establish that one line. I'm like, this restaurant I worked at, I always was the late hitters. Like I would always take that last table. I'm like, fuck it.
Oh, people are
what's 30 more minutes for $40?
Yeah, and they're like, shit. We know that we came in here.
Yes, so
I'm sorry, but
always tip.
We're hungry.
Well. Yeah. That being said, like, here's a good transition. How did waiting tables and talking to everybody like that help your salesmanship for your business now?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Like, I've always been good at like just talking. I probably talk too fast usually. What people
or a lot.
Yes, I get really excited. So for me, it's I usually just try to like excite people,
right.
and just shoot the high level, 30,000 foot view. Especially when you're talking about brand and design, like these are all the things that we could do. Like you can be so creative at that moment, and you're just trying to dive as deep as you can. Some of those things might not work, but you're just talking to that person saying, listen, stop thinking about it, as just this linear line. Like start looking at it like, how do we just, do whatever we want, and then, start picking off the things that, don't work in the budget. So,
well, yeah, that's a really, that's your phone. I think that's a really good way of looking at a lot of things, and to be able to convince someone that, just like, dude, what does it matter? Like, let's just have fun with it.
Let's have fun.
Let's see what happens, and let's go with the flow. And if you don't go with the flow, and you're just going to be all stubborn about it, like it's going to be like what I had to do is like 5 years of rebranding.
Yeah.
Like 5 years.
Took 5 years.
5 years to get this hats and stickers and all kinds of little shit, and it's like. Yeah, like that stubborn mentality, and when it could potentially not cost that much.
Yeah,
I was like, you're thinking about it so like coldly, like it's going to be, oh no, I can't spend $100 on a designer just to redesign this or to help me clean my menu up, which we also need to talk about later.
We'll talk about that one.
This is turning into a business.
This is a business meeting, so sorry, we'll cut the
Can we
cameras.
write this off? Can we write off this bottle of tequila as a business meeting?
Yes, that's
Scott,
something.
if you're listening,
Scott?
$23. I think that bottle of tequila cost.
But yeah, no, I mean, you're hitting the right point that it's, you know, and that's what we try to do is, you know, it's creative, and that's what we do is be creative. And if we could help you see something that you can't, then you know, then it's selling itself. Like I don't have to say you need this logo, pay me. It's like, what if we did these things, you know, and then it transcribes into everything else. Like it's now we have, you know, because of this, you know, people think of us this way, and it's an emotional feel, and that's the biggest thing. Is it's all emotion, and there's never we did this because it's cool. It's we did this because of this, you know, the why factor.
No, and it should always it should make you feel good. Even if you're not the one that's the artist, art should make you feel good. Like you listen to music. No matter what it is, or not no matter what it is, no matter what you like.
Sad breakup songs.
Let's say this. No matter what you like, generally speaking, it makes you feel better. Yeah. Look at any art, walking down the street, and if it's really provoking, you're like, oh, that's really cool. So if it's something personal to you, and you're not the one who created it, but it still should hit that note. Like, it should be like, oh, man, that's still mine.
Right.
Regardless that I had to pay for it, regardless I didn't, you know, and I didn't want to rebrand, but it's still significant in that way. Because I was, you know, I created the first brand, not being hands-on for the second brand. I was, you know, I didn't care. I was like, I know that's okay. Like, my other comparison would be like my tattoo work.
Yep.
Some of my tattoo work.
I don't have any tattoos. I'm clean. I'm
Yeah,
scared.
I'm gonna start filling up. I'm gonna be.
I don't have good enough stories to do the whole.
Well, that's
tattoo.
it. That's the other thing is like depending on the artist to do your work for you.
Yeah.
Like my first couple tattoos, I was so dead set. I'm like, it had to be mine. Like, I fucking
Nobody else can have this.
I had to redraw it a million times, and it's like it's not going to be anyone like this, and da da da. By the time I got to my fourth tattoo, I was like, I'm over this. Like,
it's like a kid.
Like, please just draw this for me. Like, I know what I want. I don't draw enough anymore. Yeah. I can't just sit here and fuck around and doodle.
Yeah.
And like my problem is I'm very symmetrical. Mm-hmm. So a lot of my designs end up like a little too symmetrical. It's like, God damn it, there's no like edge or, you know, difference. Yeah. So
well, I don't, like I said, that's the scariest thing for me with tattoos is that I do want tattoos. It's been so long now, 32 years of my life that I'm just like, fuck, I don't have the right story, you know, like why can't I, you know, do I get this like this meaning like the you know, these trees, that's mountainscape meaning something, or is it like, do I just say, fuck it, get the first one? And then, you know,
yeah, just get the first one. I would say with tattoos,
I want a full sleeve
for a lot of people it is, and like I kind of like how mine are spaced out. Yeah. So I'm probably going to keep on doing that. I thought about getting the rest of my arm filled in, but honestly, I love the idea that, and I might not even go back to the artist that did my calf. Like I love the idea of having different people's art on me. Yeah. Like first two tattoos, same guy. Second tattoo, or third tattoo, different guy. Fourth tattoo, different guy. Like everybody was different ever since then. I'm like, okay, so why would I go back to the same person? Like let's change it up again. Let's do something completely different. And I'll keep in the same theme on the right arm so it doesn't look so crazy. Yeah. Like you can't just go like, all right, so I have a bunch of blue on my arm and I'm going to go black and white.
So I don't want black and white, but that's what I think again that the other thing that's holding me back is that, you know, being in the design world, I see trends, I see things that change, and you know that. How do I know that this is what I like? What I like right now? Am I going to like that 45 years from now when it's sagging and drooping? And
I think that's a really bad way of looking at it.
I know it's so bad, but I think it's a cool timestamp. So I think that's a better.
I thought about covering up a tattoo. It's one of my first tattoos. It's just like it's just not me really anymore. It's kind of like a tribal tattoo on my back and
lower back.
Lower back, yep, tramp stamp. But I think the progression of that is that you either like you're gonna get something laser removed, or you're gonna cover it up, or you just accept the fact that it's part of your life. my thing is like if I'm going to pay for more ink, to incorporate that into more ink is nearly impossible. Mm-hmm. So I might just cover it up and do a larger back piece.
Eagles spread.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Just American Eagles.
Just American Eagle. Yeah. Just as American as fuck.
Right? Just fucking holding on to a fucking snake or something. Killing a snake. Olive branch.
Everything.
Holding in his feathers.
They're just
like a fist and a gun in the other hand.
I think you should do it.
Look pretty sweet.
I know a guy.
It's a pretty good cover up. But I think like, when all else fails, I don't care enough to even do that. Like, I'm just like, well, whatever, because it's just part of who I am. It's like
you can't see it.
It's like a mole.
Yeah.
Like now, it's like it's so old. It's so ingrained. It's like a scar.
Yeah.
It is literally a scar with ink in it. So that being said, it's like you're not doing anything with it. It's like it's not going to go anywhere.
Well, I thought for the first one I'd just get words because it was like to me that seemed easy. Let's just do words. And the only thing I could think of was like biking in general or anything, and like to stop being like scared about something. It was like I just wanted to like send it, and then everyone told me that was so douchey, and I was like, it does sound like so tool like. Send it.
Who are your friends?
Everybody.
Who said?
Everybody.
I disagree. I think that's kind of cool, and I think that it maybe not on your
like a mantra though. Yeah, I don't know. I just
maybe not on your forearm.
Yeah, well, I just wanted something to be like something that you could look down at and look down and say like okay, like
all right, I'm gonna exit real quick. I don't want to plug this.
Yeah,
you can just keep on talking. I'll hear you.
Oh, what am I talking about?
I don't know. Send it.
You left me to the mic by myself. I could do anything I want. All right. Well, welcome to the Nate Herschleb podcast. Here we are, myself. I'll be interviewing myself. That's all I got. I got anything else. It's fixing the. There's a humming noise in the headphones. Hopefully, you guys cannot hear it. It hurts. You guys can watch me on Twitch. Stream Fortnite. Shameless plug. Killing it _ Nate. No, killing _ Nate. Shameless Twitch plug.
Same shameless plugging. I'm gone.
Hey, you were gone? Is my mic? I get it. You were gone. I don't even remember where we were.
I think you should, when you should get a tattoo, you should definitely think about it for a long time. So
32 years?
That's a long time. Do you have the same idea in 32 years, though? I was thinking 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
Like 2 months, if you're still okay with that idea, go for it.
There you go.
Like it's, you're going to be fine with it.
Well, I wanted like a Star Wars like theme. I thought that'd be pretty cool.
Ooh, the person that I got my calf piece from had a beautiful Star Wars theme. Amazing.
But does that set yourself up for someone who knows more about Star Wars than me?
No, it sets you up for like episode 9 when they bring the fucking Death Star back.
Oh, they're all dead. They all die at the end.
Yeah, they just keep on bringing. You just have a Death Star, and you have Star Wars apparently.
You do.
God forbid you go away from the Death Star.
It worked once.
The planet killer.
It blew up our planet. Okay. Yeah. So it worked.
I'm pretty sure the third Death Star blew up a few. Didn't it start off with like a 4-shot? It was just like, and it killed like 4 planets right off the bat.
Can we cut this out?
No. do you really? Oh, did you not watch that one?
I guess I didn't see that. Is that the
Mr. Star Wars?
Is that 3.4? Yeah. Revenge of the Star Wars.
Yes, it's. I thought it was 5. No.
4.
7.
4.
7. The new one, the crappy one. It's all right.
No.
Do you not watch any of those? It starts off with it working.
I'm more of a
planet killer.
Lord of the Rings guy. Never seen that one either. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Star Trek. Totally.
Did you not watch any of this Lord of the Rings?
The first one.
Really? That's so legitimate. Did you read the books?
I did not.
Me neither.
But
fuck that.
Speaking of books,
that's a lot of book.
What was the one that I just? I have trouble reading as far as like just remember what I read. I just start drifting. So I just cannot stand reading because I'm like 5 minutes into it. I'm like, what the hell did I just read? But I will listen to
some really bad concentration problems.
It is. There's so much other things I'd rather be doing except like reading this book. But I listened to a book on tape. It's the gaming one. I'm drawing a blank on the movie right now. Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic.
The book?
Yeah. So
and the movie.
The movie, that was the first time, like, I've always heard people saying, like, oh, the book is so much better than the movie.
That's
and I'm
what they
like,
always fucking
I know,
say.
and I'm like, what do you mean? I just sat for 2.5 hours, like, just on my ass.
There's not a fucking person in the world who doesn't say the book was worse than the movie. Like, fuck you. The movie's better. You get to see people, and you're not using your imagination.
You're not.
Fuck you.
They're showing it to me, which I appreciate, but that book was absolutely hands down better than the movie.
Okay. I'm sure, like, there's just a lot more depth you can get with a book.
There was the book
character creation.
Yeah, I was like 5 hours into the book before they even like did the first cleared the first stage, and in the movie they clear the first stage in the first 2 minutes of the movie. So it was like, what just happened? That's not how it works. That's not how it goes. So did that one go off?
Yeah, I don't know why. Down to one camera again.
Down to one camera.
See if we can get this working again before we go on. Awkward.
Well, you can just cut all this out.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying, though. I don't really want to do that.
This is where we play the commercial.
Well, not to mention
Mountain Psych podcast.
Like if you're listening to this, it's it doesn't matter. The video really doesn't matter.
But you can still cut it.
Right.
Just throw some cats playing with yarn or something, or falling into boxes.
And it's weird that this has not. This worked really well last time. Whole thing didn't stop once. Was able to hold on to it to my phone. So
it's going now, right? I can see it coming.
Yeah.
So we're back on.
We are back on.
Back on.
Check. Just
gotta do the clap thing again.
Yeah, doing the clap thing again. Getting her back on, so I can put this video back together. We still got the one mics or the one camera angle for the whole time, so I'm not that worried about it. Just less reaction from Nate.
Less reaction from me.
But who cares?
Oh, going all the way back, though, to things that we've done in the community as far as design-wise, if you go over to, shout out Tommyknockers Brewery, we just did the new menus for them as well.
Okay, nice.
So the things that you see there are from us.
Nice, okay. Yeah, we need this town definitely needs an update everywhere, so.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, the only place that got updated, they did a full update, was the Buffalo, and not bad.
I like it.
Clean.
I like it. I like the mural.
I like the cleanness of the Buffalo on that now.
They got some really good drinks. The smoked Manhattan or the smoked what's the other one? That's
the fancy mixers.
Yeah,
never really got into those.
Oh, Kaz had one, and it was I can't remember what she likes. It's the Manhattan or the other one that's just like the Manhattan, just different.
Just like a smoky whiskey.
I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, no, just what the heck? Old fashioned. There we go. Manhattan and old fashioned. Yeah, she did one of the two, and they did a smoked one where they like char some wood in front of you, flip a jar onto it, smokes the jar, and then they cap it, and then pour the drink into it, and then pour it out in front of you, and it's quite an ordeal.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of time.
Oh, it's like $10 though. It's delicious.
Yeah, I hope it's $10.
I wish it was like 15 for the work. The work that they're doing.
Why would you wish there was 15? I wouldn't even want to pay for one then.
I mean, I just drink PBR. So.
Yeah. Well, what do you drink when you're there? You don't drink the smoked Manhattan.
I do not drink the smoked Manhattan. The Colorado IPA, I think it is. They're the whatever that one is.
Okay. So speaking of Kaz, she's part of the business. She's your boss, co-owner.
She's admin. Yep, she's admin.
Yeah. How does that work when you guys are getting a new project? How do you guys divvy up work, and or do you guys just design and see what happens?
Yeah, that is usually, you start talking about things, and right now she does have another job in the city, and so she works that, and then also does Ember stuff. So she's always overloaded, and then running donkeys and a whole nother mess of things she's always doing. So she's quite active. But yeah, it's usually just kind of starting to get an idea out there, and it doesn't matter who starts it, but then you bounce it back and you're like, I like this, I don't like this. Why did you do that?
The best thing about a creativity pool. Like you can have a lot more ideas, a lot closer together without like hitting a wall.
Yeah, and it's different, I would say, in the agency mindset where we were, divvying it up to our designers, and saying like, hey, you do this section of it or this part of it, and the other designer will do this. It's just kind of both of us now, attacking and saying, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Kind of thing. So
that's good.
That's kind of how it is. It just organically kind of grows and blossoms.
Right. Where does she usually work from? She doesn't do it in the office, does she?
She does not. She comes to the office every once in a while when she can.
But she has like a laptop.
Yes.
She usually works off of.
Yep, works off the laptop, and then so I'm here in the office, and mostly we have an office space here because we can't get internet at our house. So we have 1 meg internet at our house in the woods, and then here we at least get 80, but it's a nightmare. It's
right.
Like internet is what we do. So if we lose the internet, it's just like
up
losing
here,
power. You're like, I don't know what to do. Do I light a candle and read a book?
Ours is, most businesses are like that up here too. Like you need to make that money. You need to be able to run credit cards. And all of a sudden we don't do landline credit cards.
It's spotty up here.
Yeah. And then so when the internet starts to become finicky, it's just like, what the fuck? Like telling people they can only pay cash. Like, how many people just roll around with cash?
I don't think I've carried more than like $7 in my wallet in like a year. Like it's all on a card. And if I have money, I don't know why I have that money. Like, where did this come from? Like, why do I have this? What is this thing?
When I have money, it just burns a hole in my pocket. I'm just like immediately using it.
Well, I look at it and be like, wow, I don't even know what this is.
This is what it used to look like.
This is what it used to be. Like,
when
what
I
is
have
it?
kids, I'm going to tell them stories. About what money used to be like.
Money.
Yeah.
It's all going to be cryptocurrency anyways, so.
I don't know if I want cryptocurrency, but I do like the idea that somebody has gone over the federal banking, over their heads.
Yeah.
Because they're a bunch of fucking douchebags.
It's true, but the whole cryptocurrency thing is like, I have it and you have it, so it's worth something. But what is this thing? I don't know. Right. Nobody knows.
Right.
Like it's
like, unless you have Bitcoin, you don't really have anything.
Well, I dabbled in it a little bit. I still have some stuff. I don't have any Bitcoin.
No Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the best one, right?
Yes, currently right now. And it actually went up like the other day. It was like 4,000, and then I opened it up and it was like 8, and I was like, oh damn it, wish I had Bitcoin. No, I have a couple, and I just like that's exactly what it is. Is that it's nothing, and it's so hard to tell people what it is and how do you invest in something when it's literally nothing. It's just something that other people also want and have, and so it just kind of goes. The supply and demand goes up and down, and then to trade in it is it's a nightmare to trade.
That does not make any sense.
It's weird.
Like things. They're like things that are here and in front of you. And like, I know this is worth money because I can physically hold it.
Right.
Gold, I know, is worth money. For the most part, a $20 bill is worth $20.
Yeah.
Like, maybe
you don't know. Yeah.
It's not worth that in other countries, but it's fucking worth that here. So.
Well, and that's a good way to put it. But I mean, the whole Bitcoin thing is super fascinating. I don't know if you've ever looked at anything. This could go down a whole tangent of why Bitcoin is what it is.
We never looked in. We looked into it for just like a half second and never touched it. Never got into it. Had some person think they were smarter than, everyone else. And like, I'll show you the new cryptocurrency buy. And we're like, oh yeah. And for like a half second, I was like, you can buy me $100 of that. I guess I don't know.
That'll be all right. Well, I mean,
to see what happens.
Santiago from last one was talking about the is it DuckDuckGo?
Yeah, DuckDuckGo.
And it's basically just a web browser that doesn't track, correct?
Right.
And that's basically what the dark web is in a way. Well, actually, that is
It's
what
actually
it is.
freedom of the web.
Correct.
Is
Yeah.
the dark web.
So they don't. It's not necessarily going on to buy like guns and drugs, although you can get that. But you can go onto any site, said Facebook, and then you go, to a different site. You don't have retargeting ads of stuff on you. Like they don't know who you are. So the anonymity part of it, and that's what Bitcoin, was why it was kind of created, is for that. So now you can share it. It's completely anonymous.
Yeah, I would never
It's
have
fascinating.
guessed why, or that was the reason why. I just thought somebody was trying to get underhanded on the federal government. And it's like, let's just make our own money.
You know who funded and who still funds and who created the dark web?
Who?
Us, the United States. I believe the Navy.
Really?
Navy SEALs,
Because they needed
you
to.
can fact check that, but I'm not 100% sure.
We don't have a Jamie, so
I know, I'm pretty sure it's. I know it's
we don't have
the.
an extra person just to fact check stuff.
It's the United States government. I know that for sure, and we created it so they could. Their dark web, or I mean, sorry, the undercover ops people could communicate with both our government, any other foreign entities, and then also like when they're trying to get undercover and they're talking to ISIS or whatever it is, but they can't have a place that
Runs Google.
right. So you can't just show up and be like, "Hey, man, I'm
Fucking
trying to sign
Google.
up and
Yeah.
be a part of you." No, they need to. So the dark web was created, and it was like it's a catch-22 that we fund
Be
it.
like, let's check if this guy is really legit. Let's look at his browser history. How to become a spy.
And they could track you. Yeah, exactly. So
How do I get into ISIS
right.
when I don't really like them?
Right. So it's just it's an interesting thing that we continue to fund it because we need it, even though there are the bad things that everybody hears about where you can buy guns, you can buy drugs, you can do all that, whatever you want on there. But we need to keep it going so then we don't lose our,
We don't lose our freedoms,
Yeah.
generally, because
it's
now
a
it's
crazy,
like
crazy thing.
the stuff that you hear about and the stuff I don't really like to talk about it brings life to it. But at the same time, like, I guess by incorporating this idea,
Yep.
it's going to have life to it anyhow. So like you say the wrong thing, all of a sudden everyone is like berating you online. And like, I've never done anything like that. I've trolled one person or once had, had something hot to say back. And I was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, why are you being or like this way about it? So, one-sided. And I thought to myself how useless that was. And I was like, I didn't even get a response. And I was like, either that was really good on me or it still didn't mean anything. So, but at the same time, like, that's where we're headed. Without the dark web, you start losing
Right.
the freedom of thought and people to broadcast.
100%.
Like how the World Wide Web started. It was just this free enterprise for everyone. It's like you could have your blog about whatever the fuck.
you want.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
You can be whoever you want. But now we know and from my standpoint that, in my business and, to circle all the way back is that, we work with, ads and stuff. So, for example, a Facebook ad that, Andrew, you went to look at green shoes.
Dicks.
I know that you looked at those green shoes and you clicked away from those green shoes. So I'm going to send an ad right back to you. And you're going to be like, what the hell? Green shoes. I want to buy these. Now you could go add these to cart and then walk away and abandon the cart. And then I know that you abandoned a cart and I say, hey, Andrew, here's another nudge. Don't forget about these green shoes.
Right.
Like
that's just definitely happened to me on Facebook.
That's exact. So that the whole dark web part of it is that, I wouldn't know who you were, don't know where you came from, nor what you looked at. But
right.
But it's a weird thing that, that's advertising is that, I can target a specific person and, say, yes, you are our audience because you are this, 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 and this. Great. Here's an ad. And then, we could put that right in front of you, which is crazy.
So yeah, that's crazy. And I'm like, I'm missing the selling point because now I feel like I don't want a part of this. But I understand that you should be selling this as like a benefit.
Right. No. So it is. It's just kind of, it rolls back into that whole kind of anonymity part of it. But it's a benefit because, for your brand, for example, obviously with Smoking Yards, we could talk to who we want to talk to. And, we don't want to spend, in radio or in TV ad space, you could, kind of target a general area, but with, Facebook and with Google, we can specifically target a certain area. So we just want to target golden, so we could put all of our ad money and target just Golden and say, hey man, come on up here, enjoy some barbecue. And that's great advertising. We are talking to a specific audience. So
I can see how that would work. Are you going to do that with Argo?
We've talked.
If they can push on to the next step of their website and everything.
Yeah, and it works with any client. Obviously some work better than the other. But if you're like a chiropractor, we could talk and say, hey, what do we need to do or what do you want? What's your offer, kind of thing, and what do we have to sell? And then we can say, who is your target person? And then we could target that person and say, do you have achy back pains and joints? And yes, that's me. Oh my God, how did they know? Well, we knew. It's every fourth thing in your Facebook. Just look at it. Every fourth thing is a sponsored ad. And somebody is paying money to talk to you, specifically you.
I'm trying my best not to scroll anymore on Facebook.
Every fourth one. Check it right out. I swear.
I don't want to, and I don't care to. But my biggest thing about Facebook is like just overuse. Man, I can't believe how. Do you want another one?
No, I wanted a coaster, so I didn't make noise when I put the cup down.
There should have been a couple more coasters in here.
I was trying to slowly set it down, but there we go. It'll dampen the noise of my beer can.
But I think that's for a lot of people, it's a big worry. Like just not having anonymity, not having the freedom of browsing the web without people knowing that I'm looking at shoes. God, it's worked so many times with me. Backcountry.com. You're getting a free plug. Well, to the X amount of listeners I have. But like, shit, man. I've bought so much fucking bike gear because of goddamn Facebook. Yep. Like, I realized that. And I realized how much time I wasted on Facebook. Sorry for that rustling. I can't open my tequila.
Is that one empty?
It is.
Yeah, I bought something from a targeted ad today that was it got me on Instagram that I was looking for specifically kind of like a big straw hat, for fishing. Like that's what, and keep fishing came like that's what I wanted. I just wanted it. And I got an ad for it. I was like, what the hell? And then it was like, well, if you buy this and like 4 other things, we'll give you those 4 things free. And I'm like, shit, that's a great deal. Even though I know exactly where this place is coming from, how they targeted me, like I understand it, but it still works. And that's what's fascinating is that, I've looked at, if it's print on demand, if it's drop shipping, all these things, and I know where these things are coming from, but I still bought it.
Right.
I'm like, damn, it's so good.
Speaking of biking and ads and whatnot, no, am I saying the wrong?
Oh, can't talk about that one yet.
You can't talk about someone that you work for?
Nope, not yet.
Till it's out.
That is the unfortunate thing with design. Like even with the Argo, we worked with them for 6 to 8 months, and then then there was still some time before it actually was public that we could talk about it.
Because it could still not go through.
That's correct. Yeah.
That would be awful. Like, it's got this huge new thing. It's going to be our logo, and then the logo comes out, and it's like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah,
that's not our logo.
That's not the one. But no, and we did that with another client when I was at the last agency. That it was a big pretzel company, and like we did the full rebrand for full redesign, and all you want to do is like shout it out from the moon,
right?
Like, hey guys, check out our new work. But you can't. You have to wait till it's out there. They have legal issues. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you have to wait for. And you don't want to.
I never knew that.
Yeah, you don't want to just show it off in front of them. I mean, if you get their permission, then yes, you can. But right now, we can't do anything yet.
So, any markets that you're trying to get into right now, like specifically, or clientele that you're trying to target?
Yeah, we're outdoors people. We wear flannels and flat bills. Obviously, this is what I wear every single day. I don't even know if people know what my actual hair looks like.
Is flat bills an outdoors thing?
I think it's my thing.
Okay,
and I'm an outdoors guy.
I'm an outdoors person, but I've seen a lot more outdoors people with dad hats.
The dad hats are coming. Kanye West, he did it, so they're cool, I guess.
Like I know it's a city thing. It's the flat bill thing, but I think we're stealing it. We're taking it back.
Taking it back.
Wow.
No, yeah. So outdoor industry and lifestyle things, I guess, and it's that's kind of what we
encompass.
Yeah, but obviously we can do everything. If you're a company that does this, that, or this, we could talk and say, how does this, how can we help you for sure?
Right.
we also want to make sure that we, stand behind it. And, if you're, people who make tents, we camp in tents. If you do hammocks, we hammock, all these kind of things that, we stand behind, we drink beer, we want to help design beer, those kind of things. It's just easier to be, to care about it.
Right.
More like be more passionate, I guess. About
Have you
it.
looked into some of these smaller breweries that have been around for a while and see which ones are probably over 5 years old?
Yeah, the brewery thing is a weird. It's a weird market. Yeah, because it's
hard to change all your cans and bottles. And
it costs a lot of money to change all your cans and bottles. People know you as this, and a lot of them, frankly, are really good. It doesn't like that's the one area of design that if we need inspiration, you just walk into a liquor store, look at the beer cans of a craft brewery.
Oh yeah,
and it's like wow. But even I think Bud Light, they changed theirs where it was like they went to a completely blue with like kind of tone on tone blue with like white. I was like, that looks really good. Like good job. And that's a major company. And then, PBR just did the same thing. They have like an artist release can. Like
I like their artist release can. It's kind of like a neat little throwback too.
Yeah. I'm much more of a Montucky guy,
Yeah.
but Montucky, they sell because of their brand. They sold this kind of like retro feel.
Right.
And you want to be like, yeah, I wear this. I'm retro.
Montucky, yeah. It had the rainbow behind the horse.
Yep.
And then they even came out with a limited edition can, which I believe it was on the can for a second, but at least they made stickers.
The unicorn.
Of a unicorn.
Yeah.
They
did so.
Like, what the fuck? You guys are so smart.
They do a fantastic job with their marketing and then make you want to feel like you need this beer or you need to wear this brand to be, and that's that lifestyle thing. And that's what, at the end of the day, what we always, talk with clients is that, who do you want to be and why? And you don't want to just be a cool brand. You want to be a brand that, someone represents. Obviously, you're rocking the Crash Bear stuff again. Like you wear that because it's cool to you, but you feel like you're in. You feel like you're a part of it.
You're definitely. The Crash Bear is like it. I know it's not dying, but it's certainly not seen a lot anymore. Like when, the Crash Bear used to be used to be a little bit more everywhere, and
especially being local, that it was even cooler because it's local. And so when you have
weird feedback going on,
just a little bit, it's not too bad. But if you have that's the goal, is to be to create a brand, to create a voice. It's not necessarily just pretty pictures and art. We have to talk to these people. And this is how we talk to these people. That's all part of your brand, and that's that's obviously what we do. But it's to come up with that and kind of explain exactly who you are and how do you talk to someone, and then for that person to be like, dude, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I want to wear this brand. Like that's
right.
That's the ultimate payoff. Like it's cool. You see your logo somewhere on a package, but to see someone wearing it, even better.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's one of the coolest aspects of that, and like being able to lock in, and like I said, being artistic and knowing that your art's getting produced out there.
Yeah,
like that's cool. Like when you saw the sticker get made, and it's like those 2,000 stickers. You're like,
and then you start handing them out, and with the free barbecue thing. Like I handed a few out to people, and I was just like, hey, Smoking Yards Barbecue, and they're like, oh man, I love this, I love them, and heck yeah, I want a sticker, and it's just like. Now we made that connection that, they are a part of it, and they're going to do the advertising for you. They're going to slap it on, do whatever. They're going to talk about your brand, and that's what we, just.
Well, were you able to plug yourself?
No, I didn't do that.
You didn't plug yourself?
Nope, I didn't. At that time, I was like, I'm just going to hand out these things and say, come, this whole thing is because of, you guys for the free barbecue thing.
Yeah.
You guys donated.
I was hoping you were going to plug yourself. I was giving you an in.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We threw that banner up on your truck, but it was a real shitty banner. So
the salmon colored banner.
Yeah, oh my god,
should have been brown.
Yeah, we did the one thing that we dislike doing is using like a cheap printer, but it was the printer that we were going to use said, hey, we can't get it there in time. We're like, shit, we got to get this done. So yeah, we printed down in Denver, and they like I said, they were like, hey, here's your print. And my girlfriend said, this is not the color that we ordered. And this is your printer's messed up. And you're like, no, it's your file. And it's like one of those things it's so hard because you designed it and then you physically know, you know how it should go to the printer. and then they're telling you you're wrong, but you're like, oh no, it's your cheap printer because we only paid a couple extra bucks for this instead of, go spending the money to do it right. And I was
Right.
like, damn it.
Yeah.
Damn
That's
it.
actually, besides the fact that you probably went about it a little wrong on like
It was last
trying to
minute.
get your money back or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you'll know now, like, you're not,
Well, we
you're not
didn't-
dealing with them again.
Yeah, and we didn't know that we were
For
going to
good
be
reason.
in the the parade, and then it was like, oh yeah, let's do that. This is great. We should go do this for sure. We're locals. We want to promote our brand, and then
Right.
time
Did you
crunch.
hand out anything during the parade?
No, we wanted to do again it was so last minute, but what we wanted to do was kind of like some seeds or something that was outdoor related. Like plant some seeds. Obviously not like 10 tree that you
Yeah.
purchase something and they plant a tree.
Just like
but-
with your card on it.
Yeah, exactly. Just with a
Yeah.
card, and then hopefully people, get back to. Although we don't need any more trees in our town.
We need a fire.
A fire will bring this place down, so we need to do a lot of fire mitigation.
Yeah. There's so much work to be done.
There's
And,
so many trees.
and we like from biking around, and you can see all this like it's engulfing us. It's getting closer and closer with a beetle kill.
Yeah.
Not to mention like the down trees, the amount of them is insane.
Yeah.
Like every year, like just back behind us where I was riding today, it's just like tons of trees down.
Did you
You're
read
just like,
the
Barber Forks?
Barber Forks? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we did that one time, it was. You're like, oh shoot, we got to stop. And everybody off their bike. Let's grab a tree. Like you got up.
Oh, several times last year, I spent more time moving trees at the beginning of my season than I did anything else because they had like either somebody was being a real dick, which I find it hard to believe, or like the Mother Nature was being a real dick. But they were all like, sometimes I was like, I swear to God, people were moving them back.
Yeah.
Somebody was up there that was pissed off that dirt bikers were getting up there all the time or something.
Well, we had a problem with
So-
that I thought, wasn't that in Colorado last year that people
Dirt
were
bikers?
like, no, people were like booby trapping trails, like throwing
Oh, fucking
nails
hikers.
and yeah, it was because it was. I mean, it's busy.
I don't even want to get. I don't want to
busy.
get get into. Yes, that is one of this. What a weird thing to have in the back of your mind. Like it's like getting attacked by a mountain lion when you're biking.
Right.
I'm just like, why would I think about that? It's scary.
It's scary. There could
It's really
absolutely
scary.
be
A
something
nail or a fucking wire going across the trail. Like, oh my God, that sounds so scary.
there. Dude,
Like just getting whipped off your bike like from nothing. You're just like in tons of pain, broken afterwards. You find out that it was just some angry hiker.
don't think.
And there's a lot of issues with that. Is it's bad cyclists. It's bad hikers. It's these people that think that trail's theirs.
Oh yeah.
The overabundance of people that and this structure of like everyone's off on weekends.
Right.
Like
Well, it's trail
terrible-
knowledge in general
yeah.
that people don't have, and I think for being in the biker areas that obviously we hike too, but bikers are at like the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to like bikers have to, no matter up or down, doesn't matter who they
Yeah,
are,
we yield to everyone.
yield to everybody.
Yeah.
So they like, oh, silly bikers destroying the trail. I'm like, what do you mean you're out here walking, in January destroying the trail off trail? Like we're going up here when it's not raining and stuff. Like so it's
No, and it's great when you get into communities that are bike friendly.
yeah.
Like go over to Fraser, go to Eagle, go to Fruta, and it's so bike friendly and it's so overwhelmingly like everyone's accepting. It's like we're here to have fun too.
Right. But I mean, I do get the biking, like one bad apple for sure. Anywhere in the front range, I mean, you just have to stay away from it
Right.
when you bike. But the fun part is the downhill. But it's
The fact that we
you're-
have to yield for uphill
it's,
riders. Like,
but there's so many people that you don't even, you can't even get a flow. Like you get two turns and you're like, all right, we got to stop.
Right. That's a big reason I didn't go to Evergreen today. Time of day up there is so key.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was like 10 o'clock, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to deal with people. You got all the old people and the bird watchers and everyone hiking around, and there's always like a group of like Sunday school kids or some shit there. Like,
Running
what the
around,
fuck?
climbing on things. And
Yeah, and you can't just blaze past them.
you just can't throw
But
some,
yeah.
throw some Velcro in the turns.
The
right
worst
by
is when you get a fucking uppity biker.
a what?
Like, and fucking know-it-all,
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
obey
yeah.
the rules biker. And it's like, seriously, dude, like we're all here to have fun. Like we had a guy 2 years ago or something like that. We were riding down Evergreen, and it's a really wide path.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking highway for trails. We're on the right. For some reason, they don't go single file. We don't.
Wait, they were.
We don't completely
yeah,
stop.
yeah.
We don't completely stop. We roll past them, and he still yells at us. You gotta yield to uphill riders. I'm just like, oh my fucking god, are you fucking kidding me? Like this is a joke, right? Because I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because of how much space, and then these guys wanted to ride hip to hip.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, you guys are, first of all, no one should ride hip to hip.
No, that's not safe either.
Yeah.
Take it up the entire trail. But I think that's what, shoot, what was I going to say with that? Knowing, and maybe, we're different because we enjoy the downhill part, at least I do, a lot more than I like going uphill, but you like to go uphill. But you understand that we go all out on the downhill. So if I'm going uphill and I see a bunch of bikers just getting savage on the trail, I'm like, nah, dude, keep going. Like, I'll get out of your way. Like,
it's hard when you're in a group, though.
Yeah.
It's hard when there's 4 of you. Like, is everyone on the same page behind you?
That's true.
Because when I'm by myself, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm by myself and I'm riding by myself,
Just let
and I
everybody-
see,
yeah.
just let them go. Because I don't care. Like, there's the uphill, like you say, I love the uphill. It's like, it's just part of the workout. It's just part of, you can't have one without the other riding these trails. So you might as well accept the fact and be better at the climb to really enjoy the downhill.
But I think that's why we
Like-
needs direction. Like, Front Range absolutely just needs directional trails.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, it's starting to happen.
Regulated.
I thought that started happening, and then like a few trails, it's bikers have Saturdays.
Oh, yeah,
and
the
hikers are
odd
Sunday.
evens
Odd evens are starting to happen. The directional up at Apex. I can't believe Apex doesn't. It's a weird directional. Like,
I have never done Apex because
fun.
of the nightmares though that everybody tells me of just like
it's one of the
lots
best
of people.
Yeah, it's one of the best little areas you can go.
Enchanted Forest and everything. I heard is really, really good.
It's sweet. They do a lot of work up there.
Yeah,
like cool drops, cool rock gardens. They bermed it out last year.
Oh, nice.
Like this whole rooted section that was fucking shit because you're just like slide off a route onto another route, drop a route, and you're like fuck. And then instead they built like 3 berms in it, crossing the routes.
Yep.
So it's just a little more fun. And I was like, like it needs to be directional up there.
Right.
The fact that people can come up a
blind corner.
yeah.
Any blind corner that somebody could be around, and it's just like, oh, why are we doing this right now? Like it's.
That's what. As the summer goes on, that's why you see me further
going
or west.
Well, that's why I enjoy trestle, and that's my background is downhill racing. Is that I came from that, and I say came from that. No, I
started doing.
I started doing that, and this was only 2-3 years ago, and then a few concussions, multiple concussions later, decided, hey, I should maybe chill on the racing part and just go have fun, but just big berms and rowdy corners and jumps. That's
right. We're going to be doing a lot of that this summer. Well, at least we will do it separately, but
we need to get the GoPro on it and do a little bonus footage.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to incorporate the GoPro because it is a podcast and like people are just going to be listening to it.
Or these guys are just yelling in the background. What the hell are they doing?
Like I don't mind doing trail review.
Yeah.
And if that's it, GoPro is that, but you got to be really specific when you start doing something like that.
Yeah.
Like we're watching video. I was like, all right, so this next part is this trail, this turn. It's a big berm, has a drop afterwards. Here's some and you're like talking about clean shots. We were talking about it the other. You're asking me, oh, I didn't see pictures of that fish they were talking about on the first podcast. I'm like, it's a podcast. Why would we talk? Why do you need a picture? And I was like, why does it matter? Like, if you really want to look it up. You have Google or DuckDuckGo.
I looked it up. I was listening to it, and I pulled it up too.
You didn't know what that fish was.
Right. No, I definitely enjoy all the podcasts that I listen to. Anytime that I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? Like, I gotta.
Or you start YouTubing stuff. You start doing your own research. Like a lot of things I do now is because of that interested me, so I'm gonna start looking into it, do my own research, and whether or not I apply it to my life, it's an entirely different thing. But a lot of times if you do that much research, you're probably going to apply it.
Well, my girlfriend does a lot of research when she before she does something, she knows everything about it. I'm like, well, what about this? She's like, she'll answer it and be like, nope. And I'm like, oh, well, how do you know? And she's like, well, here's the laundry list of research. And I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, well, let's just do it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's I don't know. When it works, it's great. But when it doesn't, you never stop hearing the end of it from anybody. They're just like, well, why'd you do it that way? Well, I don't know. Went for it. But the research thing, I don't know. That's a little bit. I'd rather just do it, live life. Let's go.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think. I think you have to do your research. Like, I feel like I'm biking.
I agree with you. I actually completely disagree with you.
No, I disagree with completely going overboard on research. Like, I think completely oversaturating yourself before actually doing any of it.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna trick yourself into knowing more than you actually know. Yeah. I feel like I did that with biking when I first started biking, but I did a lot of biking that season. But I also looked up a lot of stuff, and I wasn't teaching anyone.
Were you watching videos then?
Like, yeah, just watching.
Like, here's how you corner. Like,
how to get your cornering, parking lot tricks, stuff that you should work on. Yeah, simple stuff that you should do, like day-to-day stuff. And a lot of that shit I didn't even incorporate. Yeah. And like I said, I was like, I wasn't out there teaching people either.
But it was
like,
fun. You were absorbing knowledge.
I was absorbing knowledge, and I was getting hours under my belt simultaneously. Like, I wasn't trying to become someone's answer key.
But I feel like with me, it's not necessarily research, but I end up watching and absorbing just god awful amounts of knowledge with anything. And so biking but I got a dirt bike and was like, shit, I know how to downhill. This is no different. And I was like, I'm going to be really, really good at this thing. And then we went to the track and I was like, I am really, really terrible at this thing. I have no idea how to shift a gear. The brake is on the wrong side. So your rear brake is your right and you're down on biking. And then MX, it's your front brake is on your right and your rear's on your foot. So like every corner, I'm just like fistful of right and then like shifting gears. And I'm like, am I in second, third, first? I have no idea. And just like my buddy's like riding by me, like throwing like rooster tails and like going over a jump. I'm like, dude, I can't do that. But I watched so many videos on how to do that. And like I watched videos of people just like cornering. I'm like, dude, I'm going to be that person. Yeah. And I got there, I was like, holy shit, I am not this person. And I've done that for so many things, like paintball, everything. I just watch videos.
Yeah, I feel like if you're putting in the hours and you're just trying to absorb more knowledge about, and you're already doing it, that's an entirely different thing. But if you haven't even started, like that is you should probably just start only, like, it's like me in golf. Like I watched a few videos on to help my golf swing. But I didn't like get sucked into it because one, I haven't swung a golf club since Florida. Yeah. Like I haven't been out. Like I don't even know. I can't even incorporate the first thing I learned on a video, let alone if I kept on watching videos about it.
Yeah. Like, well, I think it's one of those things too. Like
tricky step.
Yeah. I've played golf for years. Obviously growing up in the Midwest, that's, we didn't have mountains, so we golfed, and I would golf 3, 4, or 5 times a week. All my money from being a server went to golf. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll spend $100 golfing this beautiful course. And then, and you're like, oh shit, I just spent $100 golfing. Like, what the hell am I doing? But it's one of those things that, I developed. I had this certain driver. I fucking hated it. It was a hand-me-down from my brother. And he bought it off an infomercial, and it was like titanium or armor-piercing metal on the front. And so I was like, dude, this thing is awesome. Now I could swing that thing and I could easily hit a drive like 320. No problem. I could also easily throw that thing into the woods and it'd be gone. And more often than not, it was gone. So I developed like this swing where I straightened out my front arm real far. It was super awkward. I kind of like hitched my back a little bit just to try to control this driver. And it was so bad. And then I bought a new driver and I was like, hitting like 280. 270, 260, but it was like right down the middle. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much easier. But like, I think it's one of those things when you develop habits, you kind of, biking's the same way. You just got to go out there and do it. A video might tell you the correct way, but this is how you do it and you're comfortable doing it.
Yeah. And then like adjusting your habits as you go. Yeah. Like anyone starting biking have they're going to have bad habits.
Yeah.
You're going to have bad habits because, one, you're not comfortable.
You're going to be real stiff.
Yeah, you're going to be real stiff. You're going to be using the brakes too much, and to break away from those habits is even like, it's just hours and hours and hours. And it's just, and it does, and you may never actually break that habit.
No.
Like you might have reached, without knowledge of it, you might have reached your fullest potential already.
Yeah.
Like, which, for a lot of people, that's okay. Like, for me, it's okay. I really enjoy what I do. And, like, I'm not trying to be the best ever. I'm not trying
but
to
you were.
I'm not trying
10 years
to be
ago,
a
5 years
racer.
ago, you were. But now as you get older, has that changed for you? Because that's definitely changed for me. Like
perspective on everything. My perspective is like, can I ride this way? And I was thinking about this about skiing a lot, too. Can I ride this way the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I can bike the way I'm biking for the rest of life. And I'll make small incremental changes, and I'll probably get a little better and a little faster. Not race speed though. Not like you should watch someone like Santiago or someone fucking blaze down the hill. I don't even know how he fucking maneuvers the bike without touching his brakes, let alone can see him long enough to know that's what he's doing.
Right.
He's already gone.
Yeah.
Like you look at some time. Split times or whatever on Strava, you're just like, I'm like 250 on one section. He gets done a minute before me. A minute. Like, and I don't even want to look at the section.
Beer.
Dude, he fucking from top of Warren Gulch down.
Yeah.
He blazed that whole thing in, I don't know, like 17 minutes, 20 minutes. From top to bottom.
It's like 4K vert too. Like it's and it's rowdy back there.
Yeah.
Like
it's 7 miles to inside. He was done with under the half, like 20 plus minutes or something like that.
I'm gonna have to race.
My brother and I, we got done in like 40 minutes. Took some breaks, crashed. A few mishaps along the way.
Minor details,
making sure, my brother's with me. Chain fell off, But he was just like hanging out at the fucking bike shop afterwards. Like, dude, what took you guys so long? We're like, what?
Well, that was probably the biggest thing for me of why, not necessarily that I don't want to race anymore, because I definitely do, but getting in the mindset that it's not, why are you racing? I'm not 18, so I'm not going to get some crazy sponsor.
Right.
And I'm pushing the limit where I actually feel uncomfortable, in the race speed where you're sending over a rock garden that is full send that if you mess up, it's going to, there's a big price to pay. And for me, I'm just like, holy shit, you're holding on. And I'm at that point where I'm pushing beyond my skill level. But then I'm riding with some of the pro guys and they're going faster than me, but they're in their comfortable level. And it's like, damn. Like, I don't know if I want to get to that point. Like you got to go all out.
Yeah. Well, I think the issue is that, like I said, it's like you already peaked.
Yeah.
Like somewhere along the way, like I wasn't born on a bike. Though technically everyone was taught how to be on a bicycle really young. I wasn't born on a bike to do this. Like I wasn't born on a bike. Like BMX riders are like, you can just see them like be so playful with their bike, like sit there and hop around like nothing.
They're part of their bike.
Yeah, they're part of their bike. That instinctively wasn't the case for me on a bike. Like, and then I went clipped in right away, so even more uncomfortable. So that being said, it's like now we're talking about. So I'm not in good enough shape to do this. I'm not comfortable being clipped in. Like I did some pretty gnarly trails when I first got on my first bike. Like, but the biggest thing is that you put in the hours, but you'll never match the person that grew up on hours. Is that Jolene whining?
Could be. Here's something.
But like you're just never going to reach those hours. No. Like think of any master of anything. Those people put in the time way more time than you.
Yes.
Like an infinite amount more time than you. All you can hope for is two things. I want to be able to ride tomorrow. And what can I do today to be just a little better? And we're not talking up to their speed better. I'm talking like 2% better.
Yeah. I think that's why.
Can I be 2% better than yesterday? Can I be 1% better than yesterday? Or just around this one turn? Like that's enough.
Cleaned up that turn.
Yeah,
And,
or just clean up that one obstacle going up. Like that's one of my biggest goals. Is like just being able to get through certain gardens and be able to pedal through stuff and like having that strength. Like there's this those water bars going up here behind us. I had no problems with them today. Like I didn't do the last one because this last one's a fucking whore. But it's like that kind of strength to know that you have that balance and strength just to make it up this thing, and even at a crawl. Like, and just get it over the hump. You're like, all right, good. And then not stop and continue on and get your breath under control and everything like that.
Yeah, but that's it's a hard realization, being, competitive. And I've always been competitive, always done team sports. And then going into the older you get, I feel like the less of a team anything is. It's all about,
There's nothing going on.
Yeah, well, I know, but then now you're competing against yourself mostly. And
right.
So that's the hardest thing for me is that, to my first bike race, my first downhill race is like, I am so excited. I feel so good on a bike. And this is before I even started racing for a team and started actually learning the things that I was completely doing wrong, like cornering and stuff. But, I went out and did this race and I was like, God, I'm going to be the best. And I got down to the bottom and I was just so out of breath and I was just like so happy. And I was like, I think I did really well. And I was like 12th of 13. And I was like, like that was such an ego check for me, that I was like, okay, maybe I'm not as good as, I thought I was. And,
right.
So then once I actually realized, the techniques that I was, not using because I was doing everything wrong. I was basically just plowing through the trail, brakes, no brakes, didn't matter. I'm just going straight.
Right.
And then realizing that sometimes, smooth is actually fast, so you could be slower but smooth, and you're actually gaining speed in a way. Like you're.
Yeah, I've watched people pedal a lot. They pedal so much, and I'm just like, why do you have to pedal? Why are you pedaling?
You shouldn't.
Why are you pedaling?
Pedal.
Right
You should pump everything.
Like you didn't gain any momentum out of that last turn. You're pedaling because you're trying to make up for it. Like, but you already wasted so much energy. Like, I try to pedal as little as possible when I'm going downhill. Like I want to flow out of things into the next thing. And then, occasionally I like a 2 pump just to get right back to normal if I fuck something up or something. Yeah. But
to recover.
Part, a little recover pedal is one
but
thing.
Even pedal, pedaling isn't necessarily bad in a way that, pedal equals traction.
Yeah.
And so that was the hardest thing for me to realize, like cornering that, I'm grabbing just rear brake and I'm sliding out. And I was like, well, this is fun, but I'm doing it wrong. You should feather in the brakes beforehand, maybe on the front, and then completely let off the brakes in the corner. And if you do lose traction, pedal. And it's like, but I'm out of control. Why do I want to go faster? It's like, no, you want to get all that loose crap out of the way to get traction. That's
what I'm going to work on a lot this year. If I'm buying a pass, so I'll be up there at least once a week.
Yeah. No, once you get that concept, it's definitely.
So we kind of tangented off there pretty hard, but we've been doing this for quite a while now. Mm-hmm. So anything you want to plug before we go?
No.
Or
how long was
just give?
Well, I would say
just about under an hour.
Just under an hour. So the one thing that we need to fact check, which I tried to fact check, and that you need to plug every single time, is the unofficial, official highest podcast.
Oh yeah, we are the unofficial, official highest podcast. Right. It's like a world record for podcasts.
Record. It's got to be. I looked it up. I couldn't find it anywhere. So you should keep saying that.
Unless someone up in Leadville has a podcast.
Bastards.
Dicks. That person probably. Or South Park.
So
South Park's going to be the highest podcast if someone.
What is it, 70, 75, 26?
We're pretty high. Yeah. 70. I thought we were 72.
72?
73?
Maybe 72, 56.
Fact check. We don't even know how.
72, 40?
We don't even know how high fucking Idaho Springs is.
Doesn't matter. It's the
74?
unofficial I am 74?
70. I am.
No.
Yes.
No, I think as far as, I think that's good for me. I don't have any.
Give a shout out again for your Ember, where to find you.
Yes. So, Ember Collective, www.weareember.com. That's where you'll find us on the intraweb. Same thing for socials, at We Are Ember. And again, we handle everything or anything brand related. That's kind of what we always tell people. We do it all. We can help find the right person. That's why we, kind of are the collective. So we obviously don't print t-shirts, but we design the t-shirts and we'll find the right person to make your t-shirts. So, yep, find us online.
Nice. Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's a wrap then.
All right, round 2.
Peace
Cheers.
out.